There is one silent force, slowing your marriage blessing down, a hidden energy you don't even realize you're carrying. The moment you disconnect from it, the moment you release it from your spirit, your marriage begins to move toward you with incredible speed. What if the breakthrough you've been praying for is just one emotional shift away? There comes a moment in every person's journey where they look at their life and realize something powerful. Blessings do not delay on their own. We unknowingly slow them down with the energy we carry. Your marriage, your reunion, your divine partner, none of it is as far as you think. It is already lined up, already prepared, already reaching for you. But the wrong energy, fear, desperation, overthinking, emotional clutter, forms a wall between you and what's truly yours. When you disconnect from this energy, the wall dissolves, and your marriage moves toward you with a speed that can shock you. The wrong energy is subtle, because it hides behind good intentions. You may say you want love, but fear whispers, what if it doesn't happen? You may say you want your partner back, but doubt asks, what if they've moved on? You may say you believe in divine timing, yet impatience constantly demands proof. This conflict within you sends mixed signals into the world. And what you send out, emotionally, spiritually, internally, comes back to you in the form of delay. The universe responds to your energy, not your words. The moment your energy shifts, your marriage timeline shifts with it. Your marriage will manifest faster the moment you release the energy of fear, because fear keeps you tied to a future you don't want. Fear creates emotional chaos. Fear makes you chase instead of attract. Fear makes you imagine negative scenarios that have no foundation in truth. And worst of all, fear disconnects you from the version of yourself who is already happily married. You cannot step into a blessed future while holding on to fearful assumptions. Fear slows divine flow, but calmness invites union. When you disconnect from fear, your energy becomes a magnet for everything your heart has been praying for. Another wrong energy that delays marriage manifestation is the habit of checking, waiting, monitoring, or analyzing every little detail. This energy may seem harmless, but it signals one thing: doubt. When your mind constantly asks, when your spirit quietly tells the universe, I don't believe it's already mine, that disbelief blocks the flow of everything meant for you. Imagine planting a seed and digging it up every hour to see if it's growing. That's what doubt does spiritually. But when you disconnect from the energy of checking and allow your blessing to unfold naturally, the seed grows faster. Your marriage grows faster. Your partner softens faster, because you have finally stepped into trust instead of tension. You must disconnect from the wrong energy of emotional attachment to old stories. Stories of hurt, rejection, abandonment, or failure. These stories live in your mind and play in loops, shaping how you expect your future to unfold. When you replay the past, you recreate it. When you expect pain, you energetically invite it. When you assume disappointment, life mirrors it back to you. Your marriage manifestation quickens the moment you let go of these stories, because renewal cannot grow in soil filled with the roots of old pain. The universe is not holding your blessing back. Your story is released the old chapter and the new one appears instantly. The energy of overthinking is another silent barrier. Overthinking tries to solve everything using human logic, forgetting that marriage, love, connection, and destiny are spiritual matters. Overthinking drains your confidence and replaces certainty with confusion. It creates imaginary problems, imaginary timelines, and imaginary fears. It disconnects you from intuition. It disconnects you from peace. Most importantly, it disconnects you from the version of you who already has what you want. When you stop overthinking and start trusting, your energy becomes calm, clean, and aligned. That alignment speeds up your manifestation in ways you can feel immediately. You must also disconnect from the wrong energy of trying to control everything. Control is born from fear. Control is born from a lack of trust. Control tightens your energy, restricts flow, and overloads your spirit. When you try to control your partner's emotions, control their timing, control your reunion, control conversations, or control how the future unfolds, You block the natural divine orchestration that is already happening behind the scenes. Your marriage is a spiritual connection, not a physical puzzle to solve. When you release control and step into surrender, everything starts aligning effortlessly. Conversations happen at the right time. Healing occurs naturally. Union flows toward you because you are no longer resisting the process with tension. Another wrong energy is living emotionally tied to what you see instead of what you know. The physical world is the last stage of manifestation, yet most people treat it like the first. When you judge your manifestation by current external conditions, silence, distance, misunderstandings, you anchor yourself to reality instead of possibility. This blocks spiritual movement. But when you disconnect from surface appearance and connect to inner knowing, things shift quickly. The unseen begins to rearrange. Your partner feels your new energy. Life opens doors that once seemed locked, because you finally understand that the spiritual truth is more powerful than physical circumstances. Deep within you is the version of yourself who is already aligned with a loving marriage, already embraced by divine timing, already connected to your partner in a renewed and elevated way. This version vibrates at peace. This version trusts. This version magnetizes everything with ease. The only thing separating you from that version is the wrong energy you haven't released yet. When you disconnect from it, you step instantly into your higher self, the self that attracts, not chases, that receives, not doubts, that trusts, not fears. And from that alignment, manifestations come rapidly. Your marriage will manifest faster when you disconnect from the energy of believing you are unworthy or incomplete without your partner. That energy is rooted in lack. Lack attracts more lack. But worthiness attracts miracles. When you operate from abundance, you send out the signal, I am complete, I am ready, I am aligned. Your partner feels this shift energetically. They feel drawn toward the strength, the confidence, the peace that radiates from you. Because emotional abundance is irresistible. Relationships manifest faster when both people feel empowered, not desperate. There is a powerful transformation that happens when you disconnect from all the wrong energies and finally step into the right one. Faith. Faith is calm. Faith is relaxed. Faith is certainty without evidence. Faith is alignment without pressure. Faith invites divine movement. Faith creates openings where logic sees none. Faith sends out a vibration that touches your partner's heart, no matter how far they are physically or emotionally. Faith accelerates manifestation because it removes every spiritual block created by fear. Your marriage is not waiting for perfect timing. It is waiting for perfect alignment. And alignment is simply this: releasing everything that does not reflect the outcome you desire. The moment you disconnect from the wrong energies, your spirit becomes clear. Your emotions become steady. Your energy becomes magnetic. You step into the version of yourself who already has the marriage you're praying for, and life responds to that version with speed, clarity, and precision. So let this be the moment you release what has been slowing you down. Let this be the moment you disconnect from fear, doubt, control, overthinking, old stories, emotional noise, and external appearances. Stand in a new energy, the energy of quiet power, the energy of trust, the energy of alignment. Because your marriage will not just manifest, it will manifest faster, smoother, and more beautifully the moment you disconnect from the wrong energy and step into the one you were meant to hold all along. The blessing is already moving. Your future is already forming. Now your only task is to match the energy of the miracle that is coming. Your marriage manifests faster the moment you disconnect from fear-based thoughts that block spiritual flow, because fear is the heaviest energy a heart can carry. It tightens your spirit, clouds your intuition, and convinces you to expect the worst even when the best is already unfolding. Fear makes you question what is meant for you and blinds you to the movement happening behind the scenes. When you release fear, your energy becomes lighter, clearer, and more magnetic. You stop imagining negative outcomes and begin aligning with the future you desire. Fear shrinks your power, but faith expands it instantly. As soon as fear leaves your body, The path toward your marriage becomes open and unobstructed. You feel guided instead of lost. You feel supported instead of abandoned. And you finally become emotionally available to receive the blessing that has been trying to reach you all along. Doubt and overchecking slow your blessing, while trust speeds it up instantly, because doubt sends a signal that you don't believe the universe can deliver what you asked for. Every time you check for signs, messages, updates, or proof, you reinforce the idea that something is missing. This creates spiritual resistance, making manifestation feel slow and exhausting. But when you shift into trust, the entire energy changes. You no longer chase, you attract, you no longer question. You expect. Trust stabilizes your emotional field and makes your desires move toward you with ease. It tells the universe, I am ready for the outcome, not obsessed with the timing. This readiness removes barriers and activates synchronicity. Trust brings speed because it aligns you with certainty, and certainty is the vibration that pulls your marriage closer effortlessly. Old emotional stories keep you stuck, because they replay in your mind like echoes that refuse to fade, shaping how you see love, relationships, and your future. These stories trap you in old wounds that no longer represent who you are. When you hold on to past pain, you unconsciously recreate it in your expectations, assuming that what happened before will happen again. This energy blocks your reunion, because your heart is still carrying unresolved weight. But when you release these stories, you free your spirit from emotional gravity. You make space for new memories, new experiences, and a new chapter with your partner. Letting go allows healing to enter. Healing allows clarity to rise. And clarity opens the door to a marriage that is stronger than anything you experienced before, because it is built on present truth instead of past pain. Overthinking disconnects you from intuition and delays your marriage timeline, because the mind becomes loud when the heart becomes quiet. Overthinking pushes you into imaginary problems, false fears, and unnecessary worries. It makes you try to solve situations that are already being handled by divine timing. When you live in your head, you stop hearing the soft inner guidance that leads you toward alignment. Overthinking creates emotional exhaustion and spiritual interference. It delays manifestation because it disrupts the vibration of certainty. But when you release the need to analyze everything, your intuition resurfaces like a whisper of truth. You begin sensing what steps to take and what steps to avoid. You become grounded, confident, and in tune with the reality that is forming for you. Your energy becomes clean, and clean energy manifests fast. Trying to control the process creates resistance because control is rooted in fear and disbelief. When you attempt to manage every detail, your partner's actions, the timing, the conversations, you interfere with the natural flow of divine orchestration. Control restricts blessings because it tells the universe you don't trust the plan. This tension delays the very outcome you want. But surrender changes everything. Surrender is not giving up. It is letting the right path unfold without force. It is allowing divine timing to do what your human logic cannot. When you surrender, your energy becomes open instead of tight. You stop pushing, and pushing stops pushing back. This openness accelerates events, softens hearts, and aligns your reunion with ease. The moment you release control, the universe finally has room to work. Judging your manifestation by current circumstances blocks what's already forming, because the physical world reflects old energy, not the new energy you've stepped into. What you see right now is the after effect of past thoughts, not the preview of your future. When you judge your progress based on temporary conditions, silence, distance, misunderstandings, you anchor your faith to illusion instead of truth. This slows manifestation because doubt becomes stronger than belief. But when you disconnect from appearances and trust that change is happening in the unseen, your energy rises. You begin aligning with what is coming, not what is currently visible. The spiritual realm rearranges situations long before you see the results. And when you stop judging the process speeds up in ways that feel miraculous. Your energy of lack weakens attraction, while self-worth strengthens it and draws love back, because relationships respond to the vibration you hold about yourself. When you feel unworthy, you send out signals that you are incomplete without your partner, creating emotional imbalance. This energy pushes them away because it demands rather than invites. But when you stand in self-worth, everything shifts. You radiate confidence, emotional stability, and inner wholeness. This energy is irresistibly attractive. It pulls your partner closer because people naturally gravitate toward those who value themselves. Self-worth tells the universe, I am deserving of love, commitment, and marriage. And the universe matches that certainty with speed, clarity, and alignment. Alignment, not effort, is what accelerates your marriage into reality, because energy moves faster than action. You cannot force a spiritual blessing into existence through physical effort. What brings your partner back is not chasing, convincing, or proving, but aligning your inner world with the outcome you desire. Alignment means your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and expectations all point in the same direction. It means you embody the version of you who already has the marriage you want. This inner harmony becomes a powerful magnetic field. It draws your partner back through intuition, memory, emotional pull, and divine timing. Alignment creates a smooth path, removing struggle and replacing it with flow. The moment you truly align, the universe moves quickly to fulfill what your soul has already accepted as yours.